So I have to tell you one story from our, black pages, law enforcement history, law enforcement stories that happened previous week. So police had, the regular ambush setup in a city, one of the Slovenian cities, one of smaller Slovenian cities. Well, it's more of a town than a city. And they caught a guy, an elderly gentleman, I think he was 62, something like that. And of course they gave him, breathalyzer, and he of course blew up the score, which meant that he was his license was suspended for a day, 24 hours. Pridi, Lizi. Ne boš ti nič dobila. Ne. Ja. A gentleman was taking out his cigarettes from the plastic bag, and Liza, of course, was thinking about food. Pridi, greva tukaj. No, pridi tukaj. So yeah, he was his license was revoked for 24 hours, and that was it. And then the next day the guy comes to the police station to retrieve his license, because it was physically taken away from him for 24 hours. And the police officers realized that he actually drove to the police station without a license, because the 24-hour period hasn't expired yet. And furthermore, they once again tested him. Tukaj Lizi, peva tukaj, no. Ne morava tukaj hoditi. Yeah, they put the sign. Private property forbidden for dogs, Apparently some people are idiots. Because, this, to be private, to call it private property, it's more of, communal property. Of course it belongs to the building, to apartment building, but I think that they cannot, most likely some company owns the property. So yeah, and as I was saying, the guy was once again over the limit. So now he got 2 DUI, not do it yourself. Pretty easy. So drunken under influence charges, and then 1 charge for driving without a valid license. And yeah, this case shows how some people are new store. Interesting. Before it was like a Christian bookshop. Now they have, office supplies. Okay, we will see how long they will last. If they had an, established clientele, pool of clients, perhaps they will survive. But kje smo zdaj? yeah, back to the drunk guy. And then, you know, people are wondering why we have, you know, a lot of Liz is looking. There are two dogs playing on the hill. Vidi, tu che grieva mi va. And you know, people are wondering why we have so many, you know, deaths due to on the road, due to, you know, impaired drivers. Lizzie, pretty, no? And of course, even more, just, you know, injured, or even just, you know, just material damage. But yeah, some people just assume that rules do not apply to them, that because they have a car they are entitled to everything, driving when they want to, and no matter in what condition they are. But yeah, and most likely we will hear about that guy once more, because we have a, you know, problem. There are, let's say, a segment of population that drives around with no license, no registered cars or vehicles, no, you know, insurance on the car. And then police, you know, they, because they are, let's say, from the socially marginalized groups, even, you know, if they received, you know, penalties, or, you know, in monetary sense, they cannot pay. And then we have, you know, laws that prevent taking the money from people that are on, you know, social support. So basically they remain unpunished. And of course there we have, for several years now, the police has option to seize the vehicle, and then I think they can also sell it. But, you know, usually pretty easy. These vehicles are, you know, cheap, older models, not elderly. I'm just looking around, so many, you know, pensioners instead elderly, old, because apparently you cannot say old to human. So, you know, old cars which are, you know, barely road worthy. But yeah, and they just buy, you know, when a car is seized from them, they just buy, you know, a new car for 500 to 1,000 euros and drive until that one is seized also. Yeah. And then we have under the snout and little bit of hygiene. So yeah, we will end on this point.